Francesca Cumani came out of it all right today. She wasn't so bad at all. Old Ed Chamberlin again, not so sure. Matt Chapman definitely not so sure. And John Gosden dropped the ball today. There's no doubt about that. And who was the commentator? Was it Richard Hoyles? He did okay. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it today, folks. The ITV Racing again. I've called it before, but without just calling it, let's first go over the really, really sad news for those that did or didn't watch it. The big race today, I think it was the Chester Vase. I think it was Hidden Law, one of Appleby's colts. Won it fantastically. Looked like an horse to follow. Looked like a live shot for the Derby later on in the year. Went up across the line, 100 yards later, broke down. Looks like it broke a leg. I'm pretty sure it's been put down. I've not heard since, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. Everything went flat. All the air sucked off the racecourse. Nobody was cheering, applauding anything. No presentation took place. Just awful scenes. It's as bad as we've probably ever seen on terrestrial TV, because they're following the horse as it goes over the line. As they passed it 50, maybe 100 yards. They're still following the horse, and all of a sudden the horse stumbles. You see its leg go, and Buick gets thrown off. William Buick there, although I think he probably tried to eject at the same time. He knew what had happened. Really, really sad scenes. They tried to not show things like that on camera and move the camera away. But in this instance, they couldn't do anything about it because they wasn't expecting it to happen, and they were focusing on just that one horse, the winning horse. The programme, I mean, Chamberlain, Hoyles did pretty well. I think it was Hoyles, the commentator there, did pretty well with what he said. Chamberlain did a full Chamberlain sketch like he does, and then 5 or 6 minutes later, I think they went to a quick break, and he came back on and he said, I fear the place has just changed. I fear everything's gone bad, everything. And I thought, what are you talking about, man? It went that way straight as soon as the thing happened. As soon as the thing happened, the general consensus there was like they'd seen doom and gloom, which was awful, and it was. Nobody was celebrating, nobody was happy. There's many horse racing lovers there. They'd seen something that right in front of the grandstands they didn't want to see, and everybody was shocked and no doubt saddened. You didn't need to tell us 5 or 6 minutes later that everything had changed there. We'd all seen that with our own eyes. Bit poor. Chapman, I don't know if you've seen it earlier, he was interviewing, was it Derek Smith, one of the lads, as Aidan O'Brien calls them, the super owners, the boys with millions and millions. Anyway, he's interviewing Derek Smith. He said, here we are, Derek, one of the lads. He said, by the way, do you mind just calling you that? Bit embarrassing it was. Derek Smith said, well, no, not really. I mean, Chapman's been calling him for the last 8 or 10 years. He thinks it's brilliant to repeat the old Aidan O'Brien thing and make a bit of a fun of it, calling them the lads. Does it to the face all the time. Then for some reason he did it today and thought, maybe they don't like it. Maybe they think I'm taking the old Johnny Cash, which is exactly what he is doing, to be honest with you, because that's what he does. Bit like the old Johnny G with John Gosden. On to Gosden now. After the injury, Chamberlain had one of his brighter days. Maybe we could get... Was it Chamberlain? It might have been Hoyles. Whoever it was, doesn't matter. I think it was Chamberlain. Maybe we can get John Gosden up to tell us what happens when a horse breaks its leg, and how it's different for a horse than for human beings and many other animals. He did it after, was it Rewilding? I think did the same. I think after the Ascot Gold Cup, I think it was a year or two ago, and it was very good. He said maybe he'll come to camera. Anyway, they had a break and they brought Gosden on, and he never really went into details like Francesca did a little bit later. She did pretty well with it. She explained it well. She was also talking about horses when they get cast in the box, something that happened to Shishkin only the other day. And she explained it pretty well, and it's all really sad. But you knew what she was talking about, and it was just delivered really well. Gosden came, and what did he say? He used one word, and I thought, John, you shouldn't have used that word. I think Gosden was trying to say, well, we don't know it's been put down yet, but it does look bad. It looks like it may happen because it was tented away from where he was talking on the racecourse there. He said, but you never know, they'll look at it and maybe they can salvage it. And I thought, salvage? Ain't salvage do what you do with cars, like scrap cars? Aren't they salvaged? And I thought, salvage isn't the right word. Save the animal, save our friend, whatever. Yeah, fine. Maybe there's something that can be done with the horse, and maybe, it's not going to face, the ultimate. It's not going to lose its life. But salvage, I thought, that's the wrong word there, John. And then he didn't really go in and describe what happens and how it all works, the workings out. As I say, Francesca did. She did well. But I thought the whole show again wasn't brilliant for 2 or 3 reasons. And I thought, Mr. Gosden, you could have used a better word. You know, it's like they're more like a commodity rather than the animal that everybody tells us they are, and how much they love the animal and how much they care. It was all more like salvage made me think more pounds, shillings and pence rather than the animal itself. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I thought.